We are continuing the same chapter, that is chapter journal. Hope you all have studied the basic accounting entries and the problems, the illustration problems that we did in the last video. Now we'll move on to the next illustration. You can give the page number and illustration number. Page number 8.19, illustration number 5. Just go through the question first. Illustration number 5. Okay. Yes. So as usual, it is started business with cash, but in this question, it is not only with cash, there is something else also. He started business with cash of 50,000 and check of 1 lakh. So two items are coming into the business. What comes into the business must be debited. So here we have to debit cash. At the same time, there is one more item, that is check. But instead of debiting or writing simply as check, we'll be writing it as bank account. Understood? Cash at bank, or it can be referred as check, but you have to write in the journal entry as bank itself. Don't write it as check account. So now we'll see how to write the journal entry. Give the heading first. Journal. April 1st. Yes. So we'll write cash account. Cash is coming into the business, so we have to debit. There is one more item coming into the business, that is check. We have to write it as bank account. That means cash at bank is increasing. 2, as usual, you will write capital because we are starting the business, so capital also increases. Cash is 50,000. The check is for 1 lakh. Now we know that the total of debit side must be always equal to the total of credit side. So credit side, the amount will be 1,50,000. So this is the journal entry. These type of entries are known as compound entries. That means entries in which more than one debit aspect or more than one credit aspects are recorded. Sometimes it can be on the debit side, sometimes it can be on the credit side. Sometimes it can be on both sides. Understood? So such entries are known as compound entries. Entries in which more than one debit aspect or more than one credit aspects are recorded. Such entries are compound entries. So far, what we learned is called simple entries or single entry. Okay. So far what we learned is simple entry or single entry. Then what we wrote now is called compound entry, that is more than one debit. Here it is two debit aspect. In some other questions it can be on the credit side. One more account can be credited, depending on the transaction. So such entries are known as compound entries. Okay. And you have to make sure always whether the total of debit side is equal to the total of credit side. Now we'll write the narration. You can write the narration. What's the narration you can write? Started business with cash. Started business with cash. Then the next one is April 1st, paid for repairs of premises. That is the same date. Okay, repairs of premises. Premises or premises means the building and its surroundings. Understood? Premises means the buildings and its surroundings. So paid for repairs of premises means the journal entry what you have to write is repairs account debtor to you are paying. That means what is moving out from the business? It is the cash moving out from the business. So you have to credit cash account. So the journal entry is Repairs account debtor, you can't write premises account debtor. If you want, you can write repairs of premises account debtor to cash, or simply repairs account debtor to cash account. What moves out should be credited. Here it is the cash moving out, so that should be credited. Write the narration, paid for repairs. Amount is 70,000. Then the next transaction, transaction number 2, April 2 or April 2nd. The transaction is paid into bank. Paid into bank means deposited into bank. We are depositing our cash into bank. What is happening to our cash? Cash means it is the cash of the firm which is moving out from the business. So we have to credit cash account. Then what should be debited? If you identify one, the other is easy. Other can be easily written. See, what's the other account which you have to debit? We are putting this amount into, or paying into bank means we are putting or depositing into bank. So which is the account that should be debited? It is the bank account, because the firm's bank account will increase, or firm's bank account is coming into the business. There is an addition to the bank account. So bank account must be debited. You just identify one, the other you can write the opposite. One is to be credited, automatically other will have to be debited. Here paid into bank, the amount is that amount 70,000? Oh, previous amount was 10,000, just correct it. Previous amount was 10,000. This one is 70,000. Just correct it and write. Okay, so the narration can be paid into bank. Then the next one is bought goods for cash. That transaction is familiar to you. Bought goods for cash. It's on April 3rd. Which account will be debited? Purchases account should be debited. It's not the goods account. It is the purchases account. Debtor to what's moving out? It's for cash. Specifically they have mentioned. So cash should be credited. Purchased goods. Okay. See here I wrote purchased goods. I didn't specify it as for cash. In the transaction, in your question, it is mentioned as for cash. But when I wrote the narration, I just wrote purchased goods. Now, the meaning of this transaction, simply when they write like purchased goods, the meaning is purchased goods for cash. Even if they haven't mentioned specifically that it is for cash, you have to assume that it is for cash basis. If nothing is mentioned in the question, like whether it is for cash or on credit, then one more hint is there. If the person's name or seller's name is mentioned in the question, that means it is on credit basis. Here nothing is mentioned. You must assume that this is for cash. Even if it is not specified, you can assume that it is for cash. But if the name is there, you must take it as credit transaction. Okay, so purchase is debtor to cash. The amount is 5,000. The next one, drew cash from bank for office use. It is not for personal use. If it is for personal use, there is one account called drawings account. Understood? Here it is not for personal use, it is for office use, and we are withdrawing from the bank account. So what will happen when you deposited into bank, you wrote bank debtor to cash. When you withdraw from bank, what are we getting? What is coming into the business? Is the cash coming into the business. So what should be debited? Cash should be debited. The reverse entry you have to write actually. It will be cash account debtor to bank account. Understood? Cash is coming into the business because we are withdrawing from bank. Date April 4th. Every time you have to see the date and write. So withdrew from bank, you write. But if it is mentioned like for personal use, you must debit drawings account. Suppose in the question nothing was mentioned. They simply wrote withdrew cash from bank. Here they mentioned it is for office purpose. If nothing was mentioned, what will you do? How will you take? If nothing is mentioned, it will be for office use. Because the business will be using or will be taking amount for their own use. So if nothing is mentioned, you take it as for office use. Office use means for the use of business. In certain questions, they will specifically mention like it is for the personal use. Personal use means it is for the owner. Owner is withdrawn. Then drawings account must be debited. Only in that case. Or else, if nothing is mentioned, you can take it as office use. Here it is specifically mentioned it is for office use. Then this is the entry. The amount is 1000. Then the next one, April 13th, bought goods from Shyam. The name is mentioned. That means it is on credit basis and creditor should be credited. So purchases account debtor. There is no cash moving out. You have to credit the creditor's account. The creditor's name here is Shyam's account. Yes. And it is for rupees 22,500. The name is mentioned means it is credit transaction. Don't go and write cash there. Bought goods from Shyam. The next one, April 13th, again the same date. Paid cartage on goods purchased. Okay, cartage, what's the meaning that we discussed? Cartage means the transportation expenses. Cartage on goods purchased means when you purchased what all transportation expenses you incurred. That is called paid cartage on goods purchased. Similarly, when you sell goods, that time also you will have to spend on transportation expenses. So we have two types of carriage expenses, carriage inwards and carriage outwards. What can be the meaning of carriage inwards? It is the expense paid when the goods are purchased. That is called carriage inwards. Then what can be the meaning of carriage outwards? It is the transportation expense spent when the goods are sold. Understood? So basically both are expenses. Clear? Carriage inwards and carriage outwards both are expenses. One is when you purchase goods, the other is when you sell goods. Both are expenses. And you are paying the amount for that. So what is moving out? The cash is moving out. So cash should be credited. What can we debit? We can debit the carriage account. And you must specify it as carriage inwards since it is on goods purchased. So write it as carriage inwards account debted to cash. Here you write paid carriage or paid cartage. Okay, I think in the question they have written as cartage. I wrote it as carriage. Both are same. You can either write it as cartage inwards account debtor. Usually we will be using the term carriage. Both are correct. You can write cartage inwards or carriage inwards. Both are same. So here the amount is 500. Narration you can simply write paid cartage. That's enough. Narration need to be small. If you want you can write the entire transaction itself. But no need to waste your time. April 20th. Sold goods to Krishna means it is credit transaction. So we have a debtor now, that is Krishna's account. So Krishna must be debited to sales account. Krishna's account debtor to sales account. Sold to Krishna is the narration. Amount is 15,000. 15. The next one, April 24th. Received from Krishna on account. Okay, it is written like received from Krishna on account. Did you see the transaction? Okay, April 20th, we have sold goods to Krishna and we know that it is on credit basis. So, did we receive the amount on 20th? No. 24th, you are getting the amount and it is written like on account. On account means on account of the above transaction. Which is the above transaction? We have sold goods to Krishna. On account of that transaction, you are getting amount from Krishna. That is the meaning of the transaction. On account means on account of the above transaction. So, what is the journal entry when you receive from Krishna? It is the cash account you can debit. Since it's not mentioned like you are getting into bank and all, you can simply write cash account. So, cash account debtor to Krishna's account, the amount is 10,000. Received from Krishna. It is written on account. It doesn't mean like we are getting the amount into the bank account. That's not the meaning of on account. On account means on account of the above transaction, you are receiving this amount. So, we can write it as cash itself. Even if you write bank, that is correct. But they haven't mentioned that they are putting it to bank. So, better you write cash account itself. Then, the next one. Paid to Shyam by check. So, what is moving out? It's not the cash, it's the check moving out. That is bank account, you have to credit. So, we have to write Shyam's account debtor to bank account. It's R, okay. Shyam's account debtor to bank account. And here the date is April 28th. You write paid to Shyam. You want you write by check also. This is enough. How much we are paying to Shyam? 22,500. When you draw the format, use your scale and pencil for drawing. Then April 29th, placed an order for goods with Daruwala and company. Okay, placed an order with that company. So placed an order means, first of all, you have to think whether this is a transaction. You are just placing an order. Neither sales, no purchases taking place in that question, in that transaction. So, placed an order with Daruwala and company means it is not considered as a transaction. No need to enter the journal entry in the books. Understood? Since you are just placing an order, it is not considered as a transaction. So, you can write here, I mean in the particulars column, placing an order is not considered as a transaction. Hence, no journal entry is required. That's the answer you have to write, and you can just close. Just write that sentence and you can close this. Clear? Then the next one, cash sales. Okay, cash sales, you can write the journal entry. What is cash sales entry? It is cash account debtor to sales account. Just write that because all those transactions are familiar to you, so we'll just discuss. But you must write in your book. Then paid salary to Ram. What will you write? It is salary account debtor to cash account. Don't simply write Ram's account debtor to cash. The account name must be salary, or you can write salary to Ram's account debtor to cash account, or write salary account debtor to cash account. Don't write Ram's account debtor to cash, that is wrong. Salary account must be debited. Then paid for stationery. So what will you write? Similar transaction we had in previous illustration. It is stationery account debted to cash. Then received balance payment from Krishna. See, do you remember? The amount is not mentioned in the question. See what is the amount of goods you sold to Krishna? You had sold goods worth 15,000. How much did you receive on April 24th? You have received only 10,000 on 24th. So what's the balance you are receiving? 5,000. Understood? 10,000 we got on 24th. The balance we are receiving now. So what is the balance you are getting now? It is 5,000 rupees. So what's the journal entry you have to write? It is cash account debted to. It's not mentioned by check, isn't it? Simply they mentioned received balance payment. So the journal entry is cash account debted to Krishna's account. Understood? Okay, after that you can just close the journal. Just continue that, the 3 to 4 transactions you have to write here. Then you can close this. After that you give the heading. Specimen entries, the specimen accounting entries will continue. Then we'll work out the next illustration. Okay, the specimen entries we'll learn now. Specimen entries you give the heading. Specimen entries. SPECIMEN. Specimen entries. Then you can give the next number. I don't remember the number actually. Just see the just turn and see the page which is the last specimen entry that you wrote. Then you continue accordingly, or else you start with 1. Just write the heading. Goods given as charity or goods donated. That's the heading. That's what we are going to discuss now. Goods given as charity or goods donated. So we are giving goods as charity, not goods. So what, not cash. What is moving out from the business? It is the goods moving out from the business. So which account will you credit? The purchases account you have to credit, because it is the purchases or it is the goods that is moving out, and what moves out should be credited. So what you have to write is 2 purchases. This is the specimen entry. So you don't have to draw journal and all. Just write the entry. It is 2 purchases account, that is this is to be credited. So what is to be debited? This is given as part of charity. So the account what we have to debit is charity account, or donation account also correct. Charity account debted to purchases account. Here there is no specific space that should be left. You need not measure it and leave the space. You just leave some space, put 3 dots and write DR. That is enough. Okay. It shouldn't be like, it need not be like on the top of account you have to put 3 dots. You need not measure like that. Just leave some space, put 3 dots, write DR. Okay. Then the next one, distribution of goods as samples. The next heading you write distribution of goods as samples. Here we distributed as charity. Next is distribution of goods as samples. See, we know that as a business, the firm will be providing, will be distributing free samples. And you would have seen such examples, or you would have experienced such instances in your life, isn't it? Usually when we go to shop, not usually, but sometimes when we go to shop, we will be getting some free samples from the seller. Why they are giving us free samples, or from firm's point of view, from our point of view, why we are giving free samples to the customers? What is the ultimate purpose? It is to increase sales, isn't it? So that is a kind of promotion technique actually. It is a kind of advertisement adopted by the firm, giving free samples to customers. So customers will come and buy the product. So that is the ultimate purpose. So it is part of advertisement. So here also what is moving out from the business? It is the goods moving out from the business. So what you have to credit is purchases. So write to purchases account. And what will you debit? It is the advertisement account you have to debit, because this is as part of advertisement account, or even if you write free samples account, that is correct. So you can write, better you use the term advertisement because free samples is given as part of advertisement. So you can debit advertisement account, or else if you don't remember that, just write free samples account debtor to what is moving out. It is not the cash, it is the goods moving out. So you must credit to purchases. Then the next one, drawings. You write drawings. Then below that subhead you write drawings in cash. So when the owner is withdrawing some amount for his personal purpose, that is called drawings in cash. If he wants, he can withdraw some goods also for his personal use. So there are two types of drawings. First one we are discussing now is drawings in cash. So when he is withdrawing, the owner is withdrawing cash from our business, what we are losing, what is moving out from the business. It is the cash moving out from the business. So what you have to credit is to cash. What will you debit? The drawings you have to debit. If they simply say like withdrew cash, you must take it as for office use. Don't take it as drawings, it is for office use only. If they simply mention withdrew cash, they mention like withdrew cash for personal use, that means it is drawings to be debited. Okay, then next subhead. First subhead is drawings in cash. Second subhead you write drawings of goods. Drawings of goods. When they withdraw some goods from the business, they means the owner withdrawing some goods from the business. What is moving out from the business? Instead of crediting cash, we will credit the goods. Goods account means the purchases account. And what will you debit? The drawings account we have to debit. So it is drawings account debtor to purchases. Understood? Then the next one, loss of stock by theft or fire. Loss of stock by theft or fire. So first we will see how to record such a transaction. When you lose goods due to theft or due to fire or due to any natural calamity, how to record such a transaction in the books. So what is losing or what is moving out from the firm? It is the goods which we are losing, it is the goods which is moving out. So what you have to credit is to purchases. And why we are losing goods? It is on account of loss. So loss of stock by theft or fire account, the entire term you can write. So loss of stock by theft or fire account debtor to what is moving out? It is the goods moving out. That's the first transaction. We have some subheads under this loss head. The next one, you give the heading, the subhead you write. So this is the basic entry you have to record for the loss. Then second one you write, the subhead you write, in case goods were insured. Okay, you write the subhead as subhead 1. This is not the subhead, this is the basic entry you must write in every situation because there is a loss and you must record this transaction, record this entry. Then subhead 1, in case goods were insured. So we have insured goods means now the insurance company should pay us the amount of loss insurance company should pay us, isn't it? So from firm's point of view, insurance company is now our debtor. What is the meaning of debtor? He has to give us amount. So here the insurance company is our debtor. So what will you debit? Insurance company must be, this is the journal entry for subhead 1, that is insurance company account debtor. 2, why the insurance company is giving us the amount? It is on account of the loss. So the loss account must be credited. Understood? Okay, why did the actual concept behind crediting loss account is, when insurance company pays the amount to us, that means there is no loss account now. There is no more a loss for the business because we could meet it. Insurance company is giving us the amount and the loss account will get cancelled. So earlier we had debited, now we are cancelling it. That is why we credited it. Giving opposite aspect means it is getting cancelled. Okay, that is the concept. What you can write is, the easiest way to write is, insurance companies should give us the amount, so they are the debtor. So you debit them. Why they are giving us the amount? It is for the loss. So loss, the other account automatically you will have to credit, because one we know that to be debited. So other normally you have to credit. Okay, that way you can write easily even if you don't understand the concept. But better always learn entries with the concept. I mean, understand the concept and learn, otherwise you will not remember at the end of the year. Then the second subhead, when the full amount of claim is received from insurance company. This is debited, insurance company debited, because receivable from the insurance company. Now when you receive it, full amount of the claim is received from insurance company, what are we getting? The cash or bank we are getting. Anything you can write. Okay, cash or bank you write. Cash or bank account debtor to, it is been given by whom? It is been given by the insurance company. So what you can credit is the insurance company. Cash or bank debtor to insurance company. When you receive the full amount from insurance company. Okay. Then the next subhead, when insurance company does not pay full claim. When insurance company does not pay full claim. Suppose you incurred a loss of, you had a loss of 1000. Insurance company gave us only rupees 800. If this is the situation, can we simply write cash or bank debtor to insurance company? No, because we haven't received entire 1000. Still there is a loss of 200. That also we have to account. We have to record in the entry. So the journal entry will be, what we received is 800. For that you can write the same entry. That is above entry, cash or bank debtor to, cash or bank, both are correct. Okay, cash or bank debtor to insurance company. That's the basic entry when you receive the amount. How much we are receiving? We received only 800. How much they should give us actually? They should give us actually 1000. Is this entry correct now? No, because insurance company had to give us 1000. They gave us only 800. This is the basic entry which we wrote. Now there is a shortage of 200 on which side? We know that total of debit must be equal to total of credit. Now there is a difference of 200 on the debit side. What is this 200? That is the loss which we couldn't meet or which we couldn't recover. So that you must write as loss of stock by theft or fire account debtor 200. Understood? That difference is the loss. So now this will become a compound entry. If you receive the entire amount, what you can write is bank debtor to or cash debtor to insurance company. When there is a loss amount or we are receiving only a part amount from insurance company, this is how you have to write the journal entry. Clear? So that is a compound entry now. So just go through the specimen entries. Based on this, we'll work out the next illustration.